huge part of the business, as you know, is just like converting inquiries. And in many cases, the questions for inquiries are very low, like kind of like easy, low-hanging fruit. Like, hey, is there parking? What's the distance from the airport? Hey, can I park 3 cars? Can I bring these guests? Or what's the bedroom layout? So what people often do is they'll turn on autopilot, where Bestie will respond within 2 minutes just for inquiries. Because when people are intent shopping, I know when I'm booking an Airbnb, I'll ask the same question to 3 properties, and the first person to respond, I'm like, okay, great. If it has what I need, I'll just book it.
Welcome to RevLabs by PriceLabs.
Hi, everyone. This is a new episode of the RevLabs podcast for PriceLabs. I'm Thibault. I'm the head of product marketing here at PriceLabs. I'm super happy we're here. We have Sam Dundas. He's the creator, founder, and CEO, I guess, of Bestie AI. We'll be asking very concrete questions to Sam to understand how Bestie AI can help you increase your revenue, because we're all about revenue increasing. Without further ado, let's welcome Sam. Hello, Sam. How are you?
Great. Thanks so much for having me on. Really excited to chat with you today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. And I was saying that you have a great solution called Bestie AI. As soon as people hear AI, like, ooh, that's going to be complicated. So I will challenge you here. So can you explain in simple terms why somebody listening to this today, being a revenue manager or the owner of a revenue management or a vacation rental management company, why they should use your solution?
Yeah, so I think the simplest way is that a lot of the large scale and medium scale operators out there have already put a lot of time and effort into centralizing their whole operation into a major PMS system. So the way we've built Bestie is to just meet them exactly where they are. We're able to build basically an AI knowledge base about every single listing, about all the details of their operation, all through the same APIs that even PriceLabs uses, and use that information to be able to quickly respond to guests with all of those sort of classic questions that come in that keep people up at night, all around guest communications. And that's how we first started the company, was how do we just simplify guest communications? You use a PMS to simplify all of your operations. You use PriceLabs to simplify your pricing. But then this whole other part of the pie, which is dealing with guests, dealing with opportunities to generate extra revenue, to cut down time and response times, using an AI solution that's practical and easy to get started in using. So in simple terms, we simplify guest communications with AI, with an autopilot responder that's running on over 20,000 properties around the world, works 24/7 across any language. And then we've also bolted on a lot of revenue automation tools that are just kind of set it and forget it, which we'll go into later, but just to try to squeeze more occupancy and more revenue out of every reservation.
More occupancy and more revenues. I'm sure people listening here, their ears like, wow, wide open. So again, let's try to and then again understand a few things here. You said, so to understand, imagine I'm listening to this and I use PriceLabs. Basically, I know that PriceLabs is connected to my PMS, and I will go to PriceLabs to, do my little magic, change my pricing or change some rules or do a few things. When it comes to Bestie AI, how does it work? Because I read that you guys work directly within the PMS, so I can understand, how does it look?
Yeah, exactly. So similar to PriceLabs, you would sign up for Bestie, you would see the AI knowledge base generated automatically for every single listing. And that's your sort of configurations hub where you're able to set up all your automations. So do you want Bestie to respond on autopilot during certain periods of time, during the nights or evenings, weekends? Do you want it to be draft mode where it just generates a recommended response that you can tap and approve? But then when it comes to actually using Bestie on a daily basis, that's all done directly in the PMS, exactly like you mentioned. And the way we've actually built that is through a Chrome extension. So when users enable the Chrome extension, it basically augments the inbox in their PMS with AI. And so what that does is you'll see every time you click on a conversation with a guest, you'll see an automatic drafted message. You'll see a summary button where they can click it and see a one-tap summary of the conversation. There's detected tasks from the conversation. So is there a toilet that needs to be, dealt with? Is there a late checkout request? Is there any sort of physical interference required? And so basically the whole thing just gets supercharged with AI and makes it much more easy to roll out, because in many cases our customers have 20 or 30 customer service representatives running in their inbox, and the idea of pushing them into a third-party inbox for us just didn't really make sense, because we want to make it seamless to integrate, because often the person who signs up and starts using us isn't the one that's going to be responding to guests on a daily basis. So that's how we embedded it. It's directly through a Chrome extension. Those are sort of clever workaround to put it right back into the PMS, which is effectively the source of truth.
Yeah, it's very clever, because as you were describing this, I was indeed visualizing the team, right? I'm like, well, I guess the person doing the setups, setting up the application, the service, is not the one who's going to be responding to the inquiries, unless it's a very small company. But here we're talking about people with large portfolios. I'm going to maybe again to make things a bit more concrete here as well. So let's imagine I have this augmented inbox. Have this. So how does that help me increase revenues? Can you give like 3 examples, different kinds of ways that all this is helping me increase the revenue of my vacation rental management company?
Yeah, so the most popular one is probably our Gap Night upseller, which works actually really well with PriceLabs. So as you're well aware, folks will go and discount Gap Nights across all their listings in hopes to get bookings on those off nights. And what we discovered is it's more likely that those gaps will be filled by those existing reservations on each end than it is for somebody to get a new booking. Of course, if it's an apartment hotel or a hotel and it's a Friday or Saturday night gap, like those are going to book for one night stays. But most people don't like those one night stays if it's a traditional vacation rental. So what we do is we pull in those, whatever your dynamic pricing is, people that before using us would set a discount, say 30 or 40% for gap nights, they'll go into PriceLabs and they'll actually add a premium for gap nights to 30 or 40%. And then what Bestie does is it'll find that gap, and instead of adjusting the price, it'll just send an offer to both people on either side of that reservation saying, hey, do you want to come and check in early by one night? We have a gap for a 30% discount. You could extend your stay for this cheaper rate. And then to the other guest, hey, do you want to extend your stay by one night? And it sort of runs an auction to try to fill those gaps. So that's one very tactical way where you do go into Bestie to configure the settings. So how much discount do I want to offer? When do I want to send those offers? Do I want to send them on weekdays only or weekends? And then once you turn that on, then Bestie does its magic and shoots those messages out. So what's pretty funny is a lot of the time people will turn that on and then it'll go through their whole calendar and send out 100 or 200 offers, and within the first day they've gotten it's effectively as if someone were to sit there and do it manually, but we just do it. And the funny thing is that's not even AI, that's just sort of a clever automation. So that's one way that we can instantly add a revenue.
And if I may, that's pretty fantastic, because it means basically I plug you in and then ka-ching, in just a couple of days I start seeing the benefits of it, right? Because right away, just after pretty impressive.
Yeah, and the cool thing is if you think about it, instead of discounting those in PriceLabs, you add the premium, and then we calculate a discount. So if it were going to sell for $100 a night, and then you added the discount of 30% on PriceLabs, instead of that orphan night selling for $70, you can actually set it to $130 on PriceLabs, and then have Bestie go, and in the message, it will calculate the discount. So it'll take, hey, the standard rate is $130 a night. We can offer you a 30% discount to $100 a night. So the property manager or the revenue manager ends up not even offering a discount, but there's sort of a perceived discount. So it's a way of basically still getting full price for those gap nights. And not worrying about one night reservations or other high risk bookings. And so that's one very tactical way that people use us. I think on the other side, a huge part of the business, as you know, is just converting inquiries. And in many cases, the questions for inquiries are very low, kind of easy, low-hanging fruit. Hey, is there parking? What's the distance from the airport? Hey, can I park 3 cars? Can I bring these guests? Or what's the bedroom layout? So what people often do is they'll turn on autopilot, where Bestie will respond within 2 minutes just for inquiries. Because when people are intent shopping, I know when I'm booking an Airbnb, I'll ask the same question to 3 properties, and the first person to respond, I'm like, okay, great. If it has what I need, I'll just book it. So that's an easy way for people to just give the AI a chance to see how well it works, because it'll respond faster than most people. And then in addition to auto responses on inquiries, we have a follow-up system that if they don't respond, let's say you're like looking to book a property, hey, is there a pool? Bestie responds, yeah, there's a pool. It's heated to 82 degrees. Let me know if you have any other questions. And let's say the guest doesn't respond after that. Well, you can set up triggers to have Bestie automatically follow up and try to capture that revenue and try to capture that booking. So that's sort of like top of funnel. So that's like another revenue feature that's pretty popular. And the other thing is a popular one is retargeting. So you can configure Bestie to automatically reach out to past guests. Let's say they checked out 9 months ago, send them a message that's like an AI personalized message that says, hey, hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving with us, or saw that you celebrated your anniversary. So having the AI read through the conversation and send a personalized icebreaker and say, it'll actually look to see if that unit's available. And if it is for those same dates, it'll shoot the message. You can also offer similar properties nearby. So you can set up a radius and say, if I have any 2-bedroom apartments available within two or 3 kilometers, send those listings to those OTA links as well. So that's like another way to just re-engage, because most people have thousands of previous reservations that are just sort of sitting there, and you can re-engage with them on Airbnb or if they're direct bookings.
I just love it, Sam. And then if people are watching, not listening, they can see my white beard, and you can tell I've been around for a long time. What I love is exactly what you said a bit earlier, is that on one hand, it's part of it, what you said is not AI, is actually marketing tactics or rules that you could create, some time ago in some kind of CRM or marketing thing, but you still had to create the message or make the message relevant, right? Mm-hmm. And I really like the way you explained it, because you can really see, okay, there's like some cool rules, like, go back to people who booked last year, obviously not the date of booking, not date of stay, but date of booking or around that, and propose something relevant to them and remind them who we are with an icebreaker. I like this idea of the icebreaker. It's pretty intriguing, I must say. That's pretty cool. So that's really cool. So last question I have here is around, so I can understand how we would do it with a few properties, but if I have, for example, I'm a short-term rental owner with 200 listings, or I have an apart hotel with different room types, for example, how are you guys handling the scale? Or you guys also create opportunities to upgrade, for example, from one apartment type to another? How if I have scale, how do you also help me increase revenues here?
Yeah, so one that's actually funny you mentioned that is that there's this whole, I mean, you guys live and breathe in the world of data science and expected values and really sort of complex algorithms on how you price things. As of right now, this is not live yet, but it's something we're working on, where we can look at the historical occupancy of, let's say, your economic suite, or if you're in a part hotel, you have your high occupancy, low priced suites that have a much higher likelihood of booking, but then you have these premium suites that are maybe 2 times the price, like in your multi-unit listings that have much lower occupancy. Most people will manually play Tetris and say, hey, can I upgrade these guys to the premium suite, even at no extra fee, so I can free up the economic suite to get that booked up? So we're working on a system that basically will, similar to the Gap nights, be able to, if it's X days before the reservation, can we shoot room upgrades to certain units that are available, and then free up the economic suites. So that's a little bit more comprehensive, but we do have a lot of apart hotel, high inventory, high unit listing count operators that are looking for stuff like that. So that's on our roadmap right now. It's not something we currently offer, but it's definitely important, because there's so much, you just look to things that are really high on the manual work side that no human would like. It wouldn't be worth the effort of going and doing that manually as you're a human, but it's a perfect job for like a script or a robot to do for you, that you can just turn a button on, set the configurations, and then let it run on autopilot.
Well, thank you so much, because it's and thank you for sharing a bit your 2025 roadmap, or just one thing. I'm sure on this very busy roadmap. If people want to start working with you, what's the best way to reach out, Bestie AI, or to contact anyone?
Yeah, so you can reach us. Our website is getbestie.ai. We are live on most of the major marketplaces, PMSs, that is, Guesty, HostAway, OwnerRez, Uplisting, Logify, and we have a bunch more in the roadmap. We're basically working between new features and then more distribution for more PMS partners, with Track, Escapia, Avantio, Streamline, all of those on the immediate roadmap. So the best way, if you're looking, to learn more, is that you could schedule a demo with us directly on our website, or you could check us out on the marketplaces of those PMSs. And we have a risk-free free trial where you can turn it on as many listings as you want, try on all the other features, some of the stuff we didn't even get the chance to talk about today, and get full access to the platform to try it out before seeing if it makes sense to start using it as a new sort of paid tool to the tech stack.
Thank you so much, Sam. It was really, really cool to hear about Bestie and the way you guys automate, messaging, help with the upselling, and really, in the end, as we said, increase revenue and occupancy, which is really the core of what we want to bring with this podcast. Thanks so much for your time today, and I wish you the best for 2025.
You as well. Thanks so much.